Thank you all for joining us to celebrate and grow the mission and work of Life Science Cares in the Philadelphia chapter here. As you may or may not know, I am Morgan Berman. I am the new-ish Executive Director for Life Science Cares Philadelphia. I started and joined this amazing organization last September. It's been an amazing 9 months, and I'm just really grateful and excited to be here tonight and see all of this come together. Next slide. So what is Life Science Cares? Basically, we are an industry united to break the cycle of poverty here in Philadelphia by partnering with nonprofits that provide programming and services to help the most vulnerable people in our communities not only survive but thrive. And tonight you'll get to hear from about a dozen of the nonprofit partners we've partnered with so far. Next. In 6 short years, we've grown from our original affiliate in Boston to 4 sites, including Philadelphia, the Bay Area, and San Diego. Here in Philadelphia, we are facing a daunting challenge. We are the poorest big city in the United States. From Pathways PA's 2020 Overlooked and Undercounted report, over 846,000 Philadelphian residents lack enough income to cover the cost of living. And for those of you who might not know the stats, for a family of 4, that's $68,400 to support 4 people, 2 children, 2 adults. Almost 1 million Philadelphians can't even meet that threshold based on our current systems and the way that we structure things. So this inequality will only change through a combined effort of advocacy, systemic change, engagement, and shifting of resources. And we are here to celebrate the engagement and resource investment that is made possible by all of you, our life science corporate partners, service providers, and executives, and the hard and important work done by our nonprofit partners, which you will hear from later this evening. But first, if you could all join me in welcoming a man who I believe needs little introduction to this group, Vin Milano, Board Chair of Life Science Cares and CEO of Idera Pharmaceuticals. Vin, would you please come up on the stage?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for coming. I'd like to thank Morgan for all our hard work to get this thing off the ground, and it's really exciting to see so many people here to join us today. I'm going to just make a few brief remarks. I want to thank our nonprofit partners for the work they do. You're the most important people in the room by far, and we really appreciate what you do for the people of Philadelphia. Thank you so much. Before I introduce the founder of this terrific organization, I would like to make an appeal to this group. We're not afraid of big challenges in the life sciences space, right? We have spent our careers, we've chosen to do the unthinkable, the improbable, the impossible. And I would say that this challenge of eliminating poverty is no different than what we try to do in our companies every single day. And we could hope for the government to make a big difference, but hope, as they say, is not a strategy. So I would appeal to this group here that we should take on this challenge like we take on every challenge to change the course of diseases, bring new devices, technologies to the market to improve people's lives. Let's try to help the folks who are less fortunate than we are. We're one of the most highly educated, highly compensated industries on the planet. Let's reach deep and give us the resources financially, human talent to help more and more of these nonprofit partners who are doing such great work. Because at the end of the day, eliminating poverty is going to be the goal, and there's lots of ways to do that and lots of important work ahead of us as we get started. With that, I'd like to say thank you again. Really appreciate you being here with us this afternoon. And I'd like to introduce a gentleman who started this. No great organization, no organization can start without the passion behind it. And Rob Perez, who's the founder of Life Sciences Cares, is a Boston guy. I would encourage everyone here not to hold that against him. I won't require it, but I'd encourage it. He's a dear friend and a really unbelievable human being who got this thing off the ground, and I know he couldn't be prouder to see this crowd here tonight in his second, maybe his third favorite city in the country. So without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Rob Perez to the stage. Let's give Rob a warm welcome.
I'm an LA guy. I just happen to live in Boston. This is amazing. I am just absolutely blown away with this venue, with this turnout. I want to start off by saying a huge thank you to Vin and to the Life Science Cares Board of Directors and Morgan, who really makes all of this go with a staff of one right now. Really, one and a half. Really amazing, and I couldn't be more proud of what all of you have done together. So thank you to the board. I've been so blessed to get a chance to work with such amazing people, and they've just done a great job. So I wanted to just take 2 minutes to give you guys just a little backstory on Life Science Cares. How many of you guys, well, let me ask this. First of all, how many of you are either members of the board of advisors or kind of affiliated in some way with Life Science Cares? I just want to see how many people are. All right, cool. Raise them high. Good. We've got a few folks, and then we've always, when we do these events, particularly, I mean, this is still pretty new in Philadelphia, where we have people who are like, life science, what? I don't know. It's at a cool venue, and they said there was going to be free drinks, so here I am, right? So I know there's maybe a couple of you like that. So let me just give you just a quick backstory on Life Science Cares and how this all came to be. I played a trick on everyone, and then I tapped into something that I knew existed within our industry, and that is that we have the most amazing, brilliant, and caring people who work in the life sciences industry in the world. And so, as much as all of you, every single day, in whatever line of work that you are in, if you're in this industry, you go to work thinking about how you can better humanity each and every day. So when you have a group of people who have that kind of wiring, it's not hard to try to take a little bit of that and direct it towards something that could be world-changing, right? And that's what we're really trying to do with Life Science Cares. So what we do, as Morgan said, we partner with the best nonprofit partners in 3 areas. One is basic human survival, so hunger, homelessness, opioid addiction, the things that if you don't have that, you don't have anything. Education, and what we call economic sustainability, or nonprofit organizations that work to help to break the cycle of poverty. So we pick the best organizations in those areas, and we do something very unique. We sit down with them and say, how can we help? Not, we're coming to you with a checkbook and we're going to write you a check and off you go. We actually sit down and say, how can the amazing talent of this industry, the amazing resource of this industry, which includes both human and financial resource, how can we come together to make a difference against poverty in our cities? And we're doing that now in Boston, San Francisco, San Diego, now here in Philadelphia, and very soon in New York City. All tapping into the amazing human capital that exists within our community. So for that, I want to say thank you all very much for being here and being a part of Life Science Cares. If you've ever heard me speak, you've probably heard me say this. One of my favorite sayings, and I think it speaks so much to what we're doing, and that is that every system is perfectly designed to produce the results it's producing. So the system that we have that produces Philadelphia as one of the poorest big cities in America is going to continue to produce that result unless we figure out how to break it, how to do things to make the system work differently. That's what Life Science Cares is. We are purveyors of hope. We do things that break the system by providing our nonprofit partners with the resources that only we can provide. But we can only do that with all of your help. That is inclusive of your financial help, your treasure, but also your human capital, both that exists for you individually as well as your company. So we're going to ask you throughout this evening to think about how you might be able to be a part of this, both financially and most importantly through your organizations, so we can become an army of hope to break that system. So I thank you very much for being here. I don't want to go on too long because the real show is our nonprofit partners, and I'm turning it over to Morgan. All right, thanks, Morgan.
All right. Up next, we have one of our illustrious board members. You probably all have seen him in the news over the last few years. Jeff, would you please join us on stage?
Well, I'll be brief. I just wanted to share a few thoughts about why I got involved in this organization. I think it speaks a lot to what Rob was saying. It really sort of focuses on 2 things. First was As I have experienced over the last 10 or 11 years, what I think is very much a resurgence of this industry, specifically in Philadelphia. It was my hope as we were growing as an organization at Spark that someday we would be in a position to not only do wonderful things which we were doing for patients, but to be able to contribute to the people who are our neighbors, literally the people physically who walk the streets around our facilities in West Philadelphia. And so this, I think, in principle, when Rob and I first met, first of all, in the context of seeing if I could get him to join the board of Spark, we spent maybe a few minutes on Spark and immediately delved into life science cares and started talking about how we could bring the concepts and ideas that were just beginning to be started in the work of life science cares in Boston here to Philadelphia, so that as ideally in my mind, every new company, of which we now have just in the area of cell and gene therapy, I understand now 45 companies, that as all of us started at their new entity or the new effort, that we would think in the very beginning of our companies about ways in which we could contribute back to those who are our neighbors. And so the idea of this organization, in one principle in my mind, is that all of you, whether you're an organization of 2 people or an organization now of Sparks at 850, that there's ways for us to contribute back as neighbors. The second thing that Rob mentioned, I just want to say, is that the idea of these structures that produce outcomes that Rob just spoke so eloquently about, I think just maybe perhaps as an entrepreneur, my view is that you can't necessarily break structures like those without sort of really bold thinking and frankly, experiments. And in my mind, what this industry does better is to take bold bets on big ideas that sometimes, we'll try them and they don't work exactly right, but we have the persistence to keep trying them. And ultimately, that's what makes a medicine come about that changes the life of patients. And ultimately, I think that same philosophy can make experiments that ultimately change the way someone who is affected by poverty sees and is experiencing in the trajectory or prospects of their life. So I want to thank everyone, especially those of you who I nagged and nudged multiple times to come out here. I really appreciate everyone being here. And looking forward to seeing everyone. And again, thank you all for contributing both your treasure, as Rob said, but also your talent. Thanks so much.
All right. Alistair, can you please join us? There you are. Hi, well, come on up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see you all. It's a pleasure to represent Drexel University and to partner with so many like-minded institutions whose mission we share to help achieve economic and social justice. So it's our pleasure to be a sponsor, and we look forward to a long and prosperous relationship with Life Science Cares Philadelphia. It's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker. Osvaldo Lelo Flores is the Chief Executive Officer of Century Therapeutics. He was previously Vice President of R&D and the Entrepreneur in Residence with Janssen. He assumed those roles after completing the acquisition and integration of Novira Therapeutics, where he was co-founder, the President, and Chief Scientific Officer. Prior to Novira, Lelo was department head at Merck, where he led drug discovery and development programs across diverse therapeutic areas. He started his R&D career at Tularic, establishing key elements of the antiviral drug discovery platform. And Lelo came from Rutgers, where he got his PhD in biochemistry and molecular biology, followed by a postdoc at the Salk Institute. Lelo, come on up. Let's introduce him.
Yeah, good afternoon. Very happy to be here. You left the part of Century Therapeutics. You left it out. So, I'm also, founder of Century Therapeutics. We're very proud as a company, on behalf of everybody. Some of my colleagues are here tonight with me, but everybody really at the company. For those of you who don't know us, our ambition is to and mission is to develop curative therapies for cancer. And we have an incredible, committed, a group of employees. And what I would say that, in addition of having been inspired for what we do every day, right, channeling our science, our intellect to such a noble mission, we also, I think I would say, not just our employees at Century, but everybody in our ecosystem in life sciences, right? We have our workforce a strong commitment to philanthropy, to improving lives, not just in the medical sense, but fighting poverty, diversity, inclusion, and with those values, but channeling them in a productive way, doing philanthropy is not always easy. So really, I commend the concept of life science cares, how that came about, because that is not always easy, how to productively dedicate your time and your financial resources for a good cause, right? So we have embraced this partnership. We will continue to do it. And so we're very excited to partner with Life Science Cares. I think we're doing well in Philadelphia, but we want to encourage even more members of our ecosystem to join us and partner with Life Science Cares and all the partner organizations that work with them. Just to give you an example of what we are doing over the last few months, really, our partnership started very recently. We instituted, Give Like a Centurion Week, and that's something that would have been really hard to pull off without the partnership with Life Science Cares, where they help us, contribute not just, many, 300 plus hours or, close to 100 of our employees to volunteer in many of these partners organizations, and that would have been not possible without all the help, logistical help of Life Science Cares. There's a lot more that we can do. I know that fighting poverty is an ongoing battle. There's a lot more to do. I do want to do a little plug here, is that I will personally commit to participate on raising $1 million for Life Science Cares across geographies. There is a group that came together that it was organized by Luke Timmerman. It's called the Timmerman Presidential Traverse Group. It's 20. I don't know if you're familiar with it. You heard of it. Well, I am representing Philadelphia with another colleague of mine who's not around here today. Couldn't be here, but our mission, we recognize that this is a great event today, but this never ends. The amount of energy, time, financing, power that we need to fight poverty is never enough. So I'm going to be going out, networking with all of you, hitting you, because we need to keep doing this, right? Keep raising more money, more resources. And as somebody mentioned, Philadelphia has the largest poverty rate of large cities in the country, and so we need to do better. And finally, I was just gonna, thank the partner organizations. Really, I mean, you're our heroes. What you do every day, right? Is what really. It really inspires us, and so we are, count on us and our employees and the company to be there, keep working with you, and we are excited to be a long-term partner of this great organization. So thank you.
What a perfect segue for me to ask all of our nonprofit partners to send one of their representatives up. We're going to do a kind of lightning pitch round where you're going to get to hear from each of our nonprofit partners that are here tonight, a 60-second kind of overview about what they do, their mission, and how we've partnered with them since we started operating here in Philadelphia. And we're going to go in order from the slides, so I'll give just a minute for our nonprofit partners to get in line. And yeah, we'll just do 1 minute each, and we're just going to cycle through, and then I'll close out with a few remarks, and then you can hopefully get back to talking to each other, but more importantly, going up and talking to the nonprofits and then figuring out who you want to partner with. And you're going to email me tomorrow and say, when can we do our day of service? All right, are we all ready? Great, all right. Take it away, Michelle.
So we are Breakthrough of Greater Philadelphia. I'm Michelle Reyes-Aletti, and this is my colleague, Sakina Parks. Our mission is to advance equity and diversity in education. And we do this in two ways. We know that Philadelphia middle school students, if they disengage at the middle school level, the chances of them disengaging and going off course in high school is pretty high. And so we provide academic enrichment, mentorship, life skills, and high school preparation completely tuition-free for Philadelphia's public school students, their charter schools, and parochial schools. And these students are under-resourced and underserved, unfortunately, by the schools in Philadelphia. And they are with us for 4 years. And we work with them on reading, public speaking, math, some fun skills like golf, capoeira. And we work with them to get to their top choice high school, because we know that if they're prepared in high school, it sets the foundation for college and career success. And this, again, program is completely tuition-free. We accept students in a pretty rigorous application process through interviews, applications, and recommendations from teachers and guidance counselors. We've served over almost 1,500 students since our founding. And the second part of our program, in the spirit of diversity in education, is our teaching fellows.
Thank you, Michelle. So the additional part of our program, we're dual mission. In addition to providing academic enrichment to middle school students, we also want to train future teachers. So we are pretty much the only organization, I believe, in Philadelphia that has this mission. So we receive teachers, or we employ teachers from all over the country for the summer, about 20 per year. They come and they learn about how to teach. They're instructed by real-life teachers in the Philadelphia school system, and they have their own classroom for the summer. So it's a near-peer model. It works wonderfully. The children love it. The teacher, we call them teaching fellows, they love it. They get to learn how to be teachers, and they learn about educational equity as well. So that is our mission. We're Breakthrough. We're over here if you want to come visit us after the rest of the guests speak. Thank you.
All right, hello. My name is Brianna Gavan. I am with Cradles to Crayons, as you can see. Cradles to Crayons, for those of you who don't know, just a quick pitch, is we provide children ages 0 through 12 with the essentials they need that are living in these low-income or homeless situations. The goal is to make sure that they have everything they need, from hygiene products like, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and clothes, to pajamas, to socks and underwear, and school supplies. Anything that they might need, we are able to provide them free of charge to help them out. For those of you who don't know, Philadelphia actually has the highest rate of deep poverty in the nation, so that is the equivalent of a family of 4 living on $12,000 or less a year. So the children that we serve really do not have much to their name. So our motto at Cradles to Crayons is quality equals dignity, because we really want to make sure that the kids have everything they need to not only feel confident in their everyday life, but just, get through it without, having to worry about where, their clothes are going to come from, or hygiene products. We're able to step in and fill that void. We do not receive any government funding, of course, because we are a nonprofit, so we really do rely on support from the community, whether that be coming in to volunteer with us. We do take ages 5 years old and up, so if you ever are looking to volunteer, that is always a great way to get involved. And then our second way you can help would be through products, so having, donation drives or whatever it may be, or even just donating something that you do not use, we will take. We do help kids 0 to 12, but I always remind people that 12-year-olds are getting kind of big nowadays, so we will gladly take any larger adult sizes as well. We do take up to in a shoe size adult 12 as well, so just keeping that in mind. And then the last way is obviously through financial support, so we are able to, purchase items in bulk and, really help make a larger impact than we would be able to. Right now, we are in our Ready for Learning program. We have actually set a goal of packing 50,000 backpacks for children that are living in the Philadelphia area into Camden, New Jersey, and this year we are going into Delaware, which is really exciting. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to come to me. I'm gonna be at the back table, like near the stairs, so that's it, thank you.
My name is Ebony Dyson, and I am a high school science teacher here in Philadelphia, my colleague Alphonse, and we are here representing eClose Institute. The mission of eClose Institute is to make medically relevant science discoveries through educational platforms. And so what we do is we teach students, whether they are 5 years old to 85 years old, how they can become citizen scientists. And we do that by the way of the fruit fly. We look at diet, and we look at how diet can contribute to cancer, diabetes, HPV, or any health ailment that one can suffer from. We look at the cultural relevant approaches. So what is it that student, that individual feels is really near and dear to them when it comes to diet and health, and how we can use the fruit fly in order to paint a picture that we can use in scientific research. We are just, first of all, so happy to be here, and we thank you guys for the invitation. We really work hard to make sure every student has the opportunity to feel like a scientist. A scientist does not have a look. And that's what we try to express to them, as well as partner with different other organizations and explore the science that they don't see. And so we allow students to really tap into what they feel is near and dear to them, and we support them and push them along the way. Thank you so much, and that's all.
Right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you for Life Science Cares for having us. I'm Shana Freed. I'm the Director of Institutional Giving at Project Home, and I'm really excited to talk to you all about Project Home's programs. Our mission is that basically we're working to end and prevent chronic street homelessness in Philadelphia. We do that through a whole person approach. That HOME is an acronym. It stands for housing, opportunities for employment, medical care, and also education. In addition, we do run the city's street outreach program, as well as our new street medicine program in Kensington. And then on top of that, we do also work with our community members on advocacy. We think it's really important that folks have the tools and the skills they need to tell their own stories, to speak for themselves, and to advocate for changes in our systems. Over the past 32 years, Project Home has added 976 units of affordable and supportive housing to the city of Philadelphia. Upcoming in the next year, we're really excited to be opening our long-term recovery residence in Kensington. That's also going to be the home of our street medicine program. And we're also renovating a building in West Philadelphia that's going to be used as a respite and permanent supportive housing for older adults, as this is a growing population of folks experiencing homelessness as that population ages. Supportive staffing for all of these residences is a crucial component of what we do, and we're so grateful for Life Science Cares for supporting these services at our St. Elizabeth's Recovery Residence in Lower North Philadelphia. Thank you all for believing with us that none of us are home until all of us are home.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sammy Kirk. I'm the Director of Foundation Relations at Philabundance. And our mission is to relieve hunger now and end hunger for good. And it's that last part that makes me feel like we're in such good company tonight, because we've been told before by people that the latter part of that mission, ending hunger for good, is really big and seems really overwhelming and like it can't happen. And of course to that I say, well, not with that attitude. So what we have been doing, at least since 2019 and to a large degree before that, is pairing our Relieving Hunger Now activities, which are pushing out now over 50 million pounds of food each year to over 350 agencies in 9 counties in the greater Philadelphia area, and pairing it with our Ending Hunger for Good activities, which address the root causes of hunger by engaging directly with community members, asking them what they feel are the root causes of hunger and how we can support them in breaking the cycle of hunger and poverty. And that's what we're really excited about moving into as we move out of our emergency COVID response, during which Life Science Cares was a wonderful partner as we, in less than a year, doubled our amount of food being pushed out. which took a lot of work from a lot of people. And now that we're on the other side of that, we're looking to see how we can catalyze that in our communities and around our region. So we need your help on a number of levels, obviously. We are very, very excited for your support, for all of our nonprofit partners. We love partnering with you, and we look forward to future partnerships. And also, I can't step off the stage without reminding you all that we have a number of exciting volunteer opportunities, as do the other partners who have come on stage before us, that we can engage you and your staff with. So again, we are so grateful to be part of this event today, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Nancy Astor Fox. I'm the Chief Development Officer of JEVS Human Services. And JEVS was started 80 years ago to help refugees fleeing Nazi Germany. They came to Philadelphia to restart their lives, to overcome the barriers that were unsurmountable. But JEVS was there then, just as JEVS is there now. We still work with the refugee community, but we've expanded to work with everyone, whether it's out-of-school youth, re-entering citizens, unemployed, underemployed, individuals with disabilities. It's really hard to do an elevator pitch for JEVS Human Services, I have to be honest, but I walked up and I saw Bair. He's one of our students in our Project WOW program. I had a script, I'm not following it because I saw his face. And that's what we do. We take kids who haven't finished high school, they've dropped out, they don't know where to turn. A lot of times they are victims of gun violence, or they're carrying guns themselves when they come the first day. And we tell them that there's a family of JEVS that supports them, that helps them, whether they need help with food, because we work with our partners at Philabundance, we work with Project Home, we work with everybody in this room, and we work with them because of all of you. So I'm really proud to say that Bair not only got his GED, which is his equivalent of a high school diploma, he got certification in property maintenance. He went on to Orleans Trade School, which is our vocational trade school, and now he has a career. He has a family-sustaining job, and he's on the road to, he has access to opportunities, and he is really living that dream that we want for him and for the 25,000 other individuals that we serve each year. So on behalf of JEVS, thank you. Everyone talks about changing the trajectory of poverty. That's the trajectory that we want to change. It's having the Bairs of this world become, feel that opportunity and be allowed to dream about the possibilities of their future. So on behalf of JEVS and all the partners, thank you for your support. We need it now more than ever. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian DeFoni. I'm the director of the College Access Program for the Philadelphia Education Fund. A little bit about the Ed Fund. Our mission is to create equitable opportunities for students by providing expertise and resources, which unlocks the doors to high school graduation and college matriculation and ultimately college success. We've been established since 1985, and our goal is to continue to serve more and more students here in the city and in the school district of Philadelphia. A little bit about our College Access Program. We serve in 6 public neighborhood high schools here in the city. We serve 9th through 12th grade and have 1,700 students in our program. We have a large footprint in the school district. We also award in our College Access Program over $850,000 annually in scholarships for students in our Philadelphia Last Dollar Scholarships Program. That roughly looks like 130 or so students a year coming from our College Access Program that receives those dollars, with a goal of breaking down those financial barriers that may stop students from persisting in college. We also have the McKinney STEM Center, which is focused on increasing access and engagement in quality STEM learning and opportunities in all of K-12 programming across the city and in the school district of Philadelphia. We're really grateful for the support and the invite here from the Life Science CARES program, and look forward to talking to all of you later on this evening. Thank you.
Hello. So I'm going to start this off a little bit differently because I know that myself, as I was standing there, we're getting close to the end of these speeches here, and people are probably checking out. They're looking at their phone. The blood's going down to your feet. So just do me a favor and just shake your legs out a little bit for me and get the blood going. Cool. We're all here now. Great. I appreciate that. My name is Larry Downey. I am the manager of corporate relations for Broad Street Ministry. Our mission is to change the city, its institutions, and ourselves by meeting the individual needs of our most vulnerable population. And that's a big mission, right? And so we do that through providing some life-sustaining, life-supporting services like a meal program that offers our guests one meal of lunch per day. For a lot of our guests, it's 1 out of 5 guests, it's the only meal that they get in a day. We do that through a mail service. We're actually one of the largest P.O. boxes in the state of Pennsylvania for folks to receive their mail. We distributed over $1 million in stimulus checks through the pandemic. We have a community hygiene and clothing program. These are all programs that meet the needs of people experiencing homelessness and deep poverty, and you've heard that term deep poverty used earlier, earning less than $12,000 a year. That's literally almost nothing. It's sad that that's the world that we live in. All of those services are provided really to build trust and in the way of radical hospitality. And so radical hospitality to us means that we are showing up for our guests and meeting them where they are. And so through radical hospitality, we're able to garner trust, build relationships, and help connect our guests to larger services throughout the city, like Project Home, like some of the other folks that you've met today. And our guests are the folks that are really just at the baseline of being able to get these services. So when they meet us, we're working to help them get to the point where they're able to engage in housing, engage in workforce development. And so that's the work that we do. We very much appreciate Life Science Cares. They helped us to fund our community hygiene truck. This is the first time that we're taking our mission outside of our walls. Vonay Hill, who is our Director of Restorative Services, oversees all of these programs, and we would love for you to have come over and have a conversation with us at our table when you have a chance. So thank you all.
Hi, everybody. I just want to say I get really stressed out by pitches because my instinct is to self-sabotage, and I have this perfectly vetted list right here that I'm going to read to you, and my instinct is to not look at it all, but I'm going to look at some of it, okay? So thanks for being here. My name is Maya Highland. I'm the Director of STEM Education Initiatives at the University City Science Center. I run a STEM education program called First Hand. First Hand is a program of the University City Science Center. You may also have heard of Bulb or Workforce Development, Phil Brooks right over there. So First Hand is we expose middle and high school students to STEM skills and also career exposure. This is where I'm going to put this down because it doesn't really mean anything anymore. So a couple of people earlier talked about resources, and we're in a room full of resource. True? Right? True. There's money resource. I want to take a minute to talk about the space resource and the knowledge resource. So I'm going to shout out Melanie Wong and Shelby Keating from Century Therapeutics, who are incredible partners for us as partners of Life Science Cares. First Hand has a lab in University City in the Science Center, and we bring middle and high school students to our lab to expose them to STEM, but also what is the world that is STEM and life science, right? So we work with companies like Century Therapeutics to do a variety of things and think about the resource as the knowledge, right? And also the experience of not just being you should be a scientist, but what does that actually mean? And are those doors closed or open for students? And I want to shout out Century, along with a lot of other of our mentor partners, for just cracking that door open a little bit to bring students in, to really intentionally build experiences that are exposing the students to not just the careers, but students go into that space and Shelby's like, okay, we're going to do dilutions today. This is what it means to be a scientist. We also work with other mentor companies to actually co-develop curriculum with them. So when students are moving into internships, also we're totally open to internships in the life science industry, that they are not just like, well, I think I want to do science, but that they have a little more skills and knowledge to be able to enter those summer experiences a little more prepared. I forget what else I was supposed to talk about, but that is really come and visit at Phil and I and just chat about the Science Center, or also, just our programs in general. Thanks, everybody.
Rob had to leave early, but we love Manitou, and they deliver food to people with medical conditions that's specifically tailored to the diets that they have. And that's the best I can do right now in this moment that I'm realizing he's not here anymore. Next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Christy Schuter-McGuire. I'm the Dean of Biomedical Studies at the Wistar Institute, which is our nation's first independent nonprofit biomedical research institute. But I oversee a pipeline of programs for students from high school all the way up to postdoctoral fellows who are trying to get into our life sciences industry in Philadelphia, mainly. Our signature education and training programs are our biomedical technician training pre-apprenticeship and our biomedical research technician apprenticeship, which trains students for laboratory technician and research assistant positions, which are family-sustaining positions in the life science industry. And I also want to thank some of the partners here, including Century and Amicus, who actually have pre-apprentices training with them this summer. My picture isn't there, but I also had a picture of Shalante Thompson. So we wanted to thank Life Science Cares for a grant that they gave Wistar to provide transportation to bring students from Cheney University, our nation's first historically black college or university, to the Wistar Institute for last spring, our inaugural offering of a biomedical research methods class. So we've offered that course twice to Cheney students, and Shalante is now on her second internship. She did her first internship last summer at the Wistar Institute and is now doing a second internship at a startup biotech company called Navrogen that is actually renting space on Cheney's campus. So we are happy to have both helped Shalante and Cheney offer quality education experiences and prepare their students for real-life biotech positions. Thanks.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Jackie McCann, and I'm the volunteer coordinator at Nationality Service Center. NSC, as we like to call it, is Philadelphia's largest immigrant services organization and refugee resettlement agency. Some of you might have heard of refugees. There's a lot that have been coming to our community lately, but what really is a refugee? So a refugee is somebody that is fleeing their home country for a well-founded fear of persecution based on war because of their religion, ethnicity, affiliation with a social group, a variety of reasons. These people oftentimes do not want to leave their countries but are forced, and have often had to make difficult decisions in leaving their home country, like what do I bring with when I only have a couple minutes to leave? How do I say goodbye to family members, and what will my future look like as I embark on this new journey in this new country, not knowing the language? NSC started here in 1921. We just celebrated our 100th anniversary. We actually started out as a small group of women who were affiliated with the YWCA, no M in that one, and they were teaching English to immigrant women as they were arriving. And as immigration policies in the United States are ever changing, NSC has adapted to meet the needs of immigrants as they arrive. So around 1980, when the Refugee Act was enacted in the United States, we started welcoming immigrants and refugees. Now, in the fall, there were some pretty historic events in the realm of refugee resettlement that you might have heard about, like the Afghan evacuee crisis. And Philadelphia, in particular NSC, actually took on the third most amount of Afghan evacuees out of anywhere in the United States. And that job was really daunting at times, but it was because of community partnerships like Life Science Cares and the various partnerships that we actually have here in this room that we were able to take on this task. For comparison, just the year before, we had taken on about 150 refugees throughout the whole year. This crisis was 500 in the course of a month. It was a massive lift for us. And like I said, at times it was daunting, but every day through our inboxes, we had landlords stepping up saying, hey, how can I help house Afghan evacuees? We had teachers coming through the books saying, I'd like to provide ESL classes. How can I do that? We had business organizations hosting donation drives and donating financially. And all of these opportunities still exist, and like I said, we need it now more than ever. Again, you might have heard of another recent refugee crisis called Ukraine that's currently going on right now. While it's a bit of a different lift because of the federal policies that have been enacted for agencies like ours, it's still a huge lift. So we are actively increasing these programs in need of volunteers. We're over there in the back with my partner, Ethan Valinsky. We'd love to chat about volunteer opportunities. Some are ongoing, some are short, and I'd just love to chat about partnering with you. Thank you so much.
Good evening. I'm Marianne Lucy from Philadelphia Futures, and our slide didn't make it to Morgan because technology is great until it's not. It's great to be here this evening, this incredible museum, and with Life Science Cares. Along with, I wanted to just highlight what Ron said, that Life Science Cares doesn't just show up with a check, and they come in with ideas, and for Philadelphia Futures, they came in with both. And what we do is work with Philadelphia School District and charter school and parochial school students from 9th grade through to college graduation, however long it takes. And that's our motto. And some of our students graduate in 4 years from college, some 6. And in December, we had our first student graduate in 10 years after putting himself through Temple. But we were with him all the way. And we provide opportunities, we provide resources, and we provide coursework after school for these students to navigate the path to college success and success in life. We have students who come from all over the city of Philadelphia, from the far northeast to South Philadelphia. We have some students that take a bus for an hour and 15 minutes just to get down to our courses that begin at 3:30. And these are students who are focused, and they deserve a lot of credit, especially the class of 2022. What they all went through to graduate from high school and from college is stunning. And we provide the SAT course prep work and the books to give them a scaffolding to jump in there and to kind of prove their stuff, because they're really bright students, and they do. So tonight, we have a little bit of a conflict because I have to scoot out of here because tonight's our graduation. And we are celebrating 112 high school students who graduated high school on time. And we're celebrating the largest college graduation class of 90 who have graduated from college. And so I have to get down to now I can't remember the name of the school, University of the Arts. But before I go, Morgan and Life Science Cares came up with a very special program. So not only do they support us financially, but they came up with a program called Project On-Ramp. And it enables us to work with our students strategically and offer them a paid internship in a STEM summer position. And that is a life-changing event for students that are with families that are qualify coming in with incomes under the federal poverty level. So to be able to get a STEM position with many of your corporations has really meant the world to them and has really changed their enthusiasm when they return to the college campus. and the likelihood that they will continue to graduate from college. So we really appreciate Life Science Cares, all of their support and their ingenious ideas with Project On-Ramp, and it's really lovely to be here with you this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm a little kind of surprise announcement is I think Life Science Cares is about to hire our first Project On-Ramp intern this week. So hopefully he's starting on Thursday. So very excited to be partnering with you guys. So I'm going to wrap it up. We've got a few more things we just want to share with you, kind of summary of what we've accomplished this year, ways to get involved, and then your slide didn't make it in. Get up here. Oh my goodness. We've got one more. Come on up.
Two got cut off, so I guess we're super, super special, so make sure you come and visit us. But good evening, everyone. I said good evening, everyone. Can't hear you. So I'm Jamila Harris-Marson, the Executive Director of Achievability. We're a West Philadelphia community-based nonprofit working to end poverty for Philadelphia families. We do that through a variety of initiatives, including affordable housing, workforce development, digital literacy, support and technical assistance to small businesses, as well as a number of safety and public space improvement activities. We received an investment from Life Science Care in 2020, $25,000 to help us launch a program called Tech Up. It's an initiative of our Work Smart West Philly program that provides employment services to West Philadelphians. With that project, we were able to create a curriculum and train 15 Black residents to be Salesforce administrators. That $25,000 investment, along with a couple of other individual donations, helped provide the computers, hotspots, training curriculum, as well as stipends so that we could actually pay the individuals to participate in the course. The course lasted 5 months. Residents met on site as well as virtually, 30 hours a week. They were paid $15 an hour. And through that program, 15 started, 11 completed, and 6 passed the Salesforce Administrator exam, with all of them being placed in a job with a minimum starting salary of $50,000. So with those results, thank you. It's super amazing. So moving through that program, we were then able to leverage that investment to get William Penn as well as a couple other funders on board. And now we're gearing up to launch 2 additional cohorts this year that will serve 50 individuals. So when you say life science cares, life science really does care. And that investment is changing the trajectory of poverty for tons of families in our community. And we're looking to continue to grow that work. So if you want to get involved, we're looking for mentors to help with professional development services. We have a section called Industry Speaks, where if you're using Salesforce, it's a way that you can talk about how your company's using it so that the residents can get that business exposure and really understand how to apply the skills in the setting that they might be working in. And then we're also looking at ways for people to provide different professional development skills and workshops. So come see us at our table. We love to tell you more about what we're doing, and come volunteer with us, because it really takes a village to end poverty. As we know, it's a super complex issue, and it can't get done without all of you in the room here. So thank you.
Oh, technology. Sorry. Okay, so can we get one more round of applause for our nonprofits? All right. So before we close out, we just want to take a look at a few examples of ways that companies have gotten involved this year, ways for you all to get involved throughout the remainder of the year. So some quick stats about what's been achieved in the short time since I've been with Life Science Cares. We now have 16 official corporate partners who've been actively engaging, as you've heard. Project On-Ramp has hired for this summer 6 roles with Century and 1 role with Arrow. There's probably still time if anyone wants to get involved, so let me know if you still want to hire through Project On-Ramp. In the time since we've launched, we've distributed $600,000 to the 16 nonprofits, and we have over 40 Board of Advisor members who've made personal financial and time commitments to the organization. Next, please. These are 4 examples of ways companies have gotten involved over the last few months. So Klein Hirsch did a coat drive with Broad Street Ministries. Morgan Stanley sponsored our event in the fall. Century did their Give Like a Centurion week, where they partnered with like 7 of our nonprofits. Context did a day of service with Phil Abundance. Next slide. And this is my Oprah moment. So All of the money that we were able to raise tonight, which was over $100,000, is going to go immediately into our next round of grants to our existing grantees. They don't actually know this, so surprise, you're all getting more money. Thank you all for making that possible. I get to feel like Oprah and have goosebumps right now. So I'll be following up with an email tomorrow about next steps and how the logistics are going to work, but our new grant committee, which is comprised of Board of Advisor members, approved this plan late last week. And so we're going to be doing another round of grants to all of our existing grantees, largely thanks to the money that was raised tonight. We will be distributing $185K, so a little bit extra than what we were able to raise, but maybe someone's going to donate tonight. And by the way, there are cards on all of the tables where you can make a pledge, and then I will email you this week about cashing in on that. Just a few more details about how the grants are going to work. We're actually moving towards a 2-year cycle, which is kind of in the best interest of our nonprofit partners. More details on that. And we're also going to be launching an innovation fund on top of these kind of general operating grants later this year. Next. So these are the ways that you can get involved in kind of the immediate future to our corporate to any kind of company here tonight. So we've got Mini Golf for Good, which is our next big event. That's going to be on September 21st. So it's going to be like this, but outside with golf. So different than this, but same idea. We're going to have our Board of Advisor reception before November 7th, because I won't be here then for a little bit. And we're also going to be doing holiday helpers. And again, I will be delegating that to the person I'm going to be hiring soon. And those are the 3 big ways you can get involved this year. Next. Okay. Time to thank the companies that help make all of this happen, help make the grant money happen, help make this event happen. So first up, a huge thank you to Life Sciences PA. Without you guys, I don't know where I would be. Thank you so much. Melissa, Chris, you're amazing. Can I get a round of applause for Melissa hiding over at that table? She is definitely more than 50% of the effort that went into this. Century Therapeutics, thank you so much for your leadership, for your engagement, for your donation. You guys are the one that everyone else needs to look up to and kind of emulate. Thank you so much. And Drexel for being both a leader in education, in the internship program, in donating to us, and in looking for ways to partner with us more in the future. Thank you so much. To all of our friend-level sponsors from tonight, thank you so much for your contribution. You were a huge part in making these grants happen. And I'm going to actually read you all out because you are amazing. So we've got Immunocore, Breakthrough Properties, Korn Ferry, Higgins Group, Dispatch, Aiken Gump, Center for Breakthrough Medicine, Cytokinetics, Invax, Context, and Tunnel Consulting. Thank you all so much for your contribution. We look forward to working with you more this year. And finally, to all of our program sponsors, thank you as well for getting involved. You have been a huge help, and we really appreciate your support. And I believe that is it. Yes. If you want to get involved, come talk to me. I have business cards. I will be standing right over here leaning against that pillar. Please go drink, network, eat, and talk to our nonprofits about ways you can get involved. Thank you all so much for coming.